All right, so we're going to move on to our final movie, which is Black Dynamite. And
save the best for last.
Definitely the best. This is it's a movie. It's directed by Scott Sanders and stars Michael J. White, and Arsenio Hall actually is in this. So this movie has a lot going on. It's actually, it reminds me of The Vampire Sister, where it has a lot of plot, but it actually succeeds at it. It starts out with Jamal White as Black Dynamite, and you learn about his character kind of from people talking about how evil, or not evil, how awesome he is. But he's kind of, you know, a very violent person, and his brother is killed by a drug lord, so he comes to get revenge on the drug lords who have gotten orphans addicted to heroin. So he, as an orphan himself, decides he needs to take revenge on all drug dealers. And somehow pimps get involved. And then he flashes back to his Vietnam days, and then he has to get, and then it turns out it's all a conspiracy of an evil Chinaman that he wronged in Vietnam, who is helping the government suppress black people. So it just covers everything. It's this really crazy movie. It's made to be bad, which is, I think, the best part of this movie. Is there's all these mistakes and stuff, but you know they did them all on purpose, which makes you laugh. And you're laughing not because of the mistakes, but because they actually meant to do them. Like there's boom mics and they'll notice them and stuff, and they'll have really bad conversations with each other where they just say the same words over and over again. And there's like the best one is there in the fight scenes. They'll be fighting people, and no one's hitting each other really. And then all of a sudden he'll be fighting one guy, and then that guy gets hit actually, and then it cuts, and then the guy's a totally different black guy, and it's just absolutely hilarious. And there's nunchucks, ninjas, everything I love about movies. Lots of absurdity, and I love ridiculous. I mean, The Cranks are my favorite movies. I liked Gamer when there's absolutely no reason for most of the movie, and if they meant it to be that way, is when I love the movie the most.
So what did you give that?
I definitely gave this one an A.
All right, I gave it a B+, and I have to agree. I think this movie has a fail-safe. No, nothing cannot work in this movie. They can throw anything at you, and it's all going to work because the movie has its tongue so firmly placed in its cheek that it just pulls it all off wonderfully. There's no such thing as too over the top or too ridiculous in this movie, and it's, I think, a pitch perfect parody of blaxploitation movies. And they've kind of done it in the past with like Pootie Tang and Undercover Brother. And
yeah, that's always the Wayans brothers. And
yeah,
the Wayans brothers
slightly more,
everything.
Or even The Ladies' Man to a certain extent.
Yeah.
All these kinds of movies, and I think this one really finally pulled it off the best way. It kind of seemed to. It reminded me a little bit of Tarantino and Rodriguez's Grindhouse project.
Maybe more of Jackie Brown.
Well, I would actually argue that.
Oh.
I think Jackie Brown is more of a straightforward crime movie that has a blaxploitation inflection, whereas this movie is just a complete parody farce.
Yeah.
So I think Jackie Brown asks a little bit more from its audience, but no, I think this movie had me laughing from the beginning of the movie to the very end. I was never bored. The plot twists are completely ridiculous but hilarious. The dialogue is awesome. There's one character that only talks in rhyme, and I had a lot of fun with that too. But no, yeah, I definitely think I like that this movie was kind of made, by a lot of B movie kind of people.
Yeah.
Michael J. White is kind of the black Casper Van Dien, who they just do like a series of B movies really, and they every once in a while. They'll kind of pop up in bigger movies as smaller characters, but I think this is the part he was born to play. And he wrote this movie, and I think the reason why the plot is so crazy is because he wrote this movie as to just be a trailer. He made a fake trailer, and then from that, he had to create, once he got the funding to make a whole movie, he had to create a plot and a reason for all of the things he put in the trailer. And so, because of that, the plot's pretty crazy. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie thoroughly, and I will be recommending it to pretty much everybody.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that is our show. We reviewed Law-Abiding Citizen, The Informant, Cirque du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant, and Black Dynamite. Don't forget to check us out on youtube.com/videoclerks.
Comment, rate, and subscribe.